Hello friends, I am Professor S.P. Sharma, working as an assistant professor in Shriyash College of Engineering and Technology, Aurangabad. Now we are going to study one of the important module of subject Hydraulics 2, that is Impact Object. This is very important and basic chapter in the section B of Hydraulics 2 because analysis and design of hydraulic machines, that is turbines and pumps, is essentially based on knowledge of force exerted on or by moving fluids. So, the theory and derivations of this chapter are very useful to understand the concepts of hydraulic machines, that is turbines and pumps. Before starting the actual chapter, in this video, we will discuss the basic concepts related to the impact object. Now impact. Impact is nothing but the striking of one body over the other body, and jet is nothing but the spout of water. In this figure, we have seen there is a one pipe, and at the end of pipe one device is connected which is called as a nozzle. So we can define nozzle is a device which is fitted at the end of pipe which converts pressure energy into kinetic energy. We know that water flows through pipe under pressure and nozzle converts that pressure energy into kinetic energy. So water emerging from the nozzle with high velocity is called as a jet, or we can say jet of water. Now impact of jet. As we know that jet of fluid emerging from the nozzle has some velocity and hence it possesses a certain amount of kinetic energy. If this jet strikes on an obstruction which is placed in its path, it will exert a force on the obstruction, and this impressed force is nothing but the impact of jet, and it is designated as hydrodynamic force in order to distinguish it from the other forces due to hydrostatic pressure. Hydrodynamic force means force due to water in motion. Water may be the water in motion and which exerts a force on the obstruction, so it is called as a hydrodynamic force. Impact object can be defined in another way also. When a jet of water strikes a plate or a blade or a vane which is stationary or moving, the plate experiences a thrust or a dynamic force due to change in kinetic energy, and this force object on the plate is called as an impact object. Impact object is equal to rate of change of momentum of water that strikes the plate, and this causes an equal reactive force on the jet by the plate. This force is obtained from the Newton's second law of motion or impulse momentum equation. Now impulse force. Impulse force is nothing but the when a large force acts over a short period of time is called as an impulsive force or impulse force. And momentum is nothing but the amount of motion possessed by body which depends upon the mass and velocity of the body. So momentum can be defined as product of mass and velocity of the body, and the term mv is called as a momentum or linear momentum, and it has the same direction as that of velocity of particle. The unit of this momentum in SI system is kilogram meter per second, and it has some dimension, and dimension is m raised to 1, l raised to 1, t raised to minus 1. Now the impulse. The change in momentum produced by a large force applied on the body over a short interval of time is known as an impulse, or impulse can also be defined as the total change in momentum caused by impulse force. So we can write impulse is equal to F into T, that is force into time. The impulse is measured by a product of force and definite short time within which it acts. Thus, if capital F is such force which act on the body of mass m over a short interval of time capital or small t, then body changes its velocity from initial to final velocity. And now according to Newton's second law of motion, the statement for Newton's second law of motion is rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the applied force, and it takes place in the direction of force applied. And the simplified form of Newton's second law of motion is F is equal to ma, that is force is equal to mass into acceleration. Now using the equation of linear motions, v is equal to u plus at, that is final velocity is equal to initial velocity plus acceleration into time. Now this equation can be written as in the form of acceleration. So we can write A is equal to V minus U upon T. That is final velocity minus initial velocity upon time. Now substitute this value of A into the equation 1, that is F is equal to ma. So we will get here F is equal to small m into in bracket V minus U upon T. If we multiply both sides by small t, then on left hand side F into T, that is it is nothing but the impulse. So we can write impulse is equal to small m into V minus U upon T into T. So numerators T and denominators T get cancelled. So we will get final equation impulse is equal to m into capital V minus small u, and or we can write m into capital V minus m into small u. It is nothing but the change in momentum, because momentum is nothing but the mass into velocity. Now the impulse momentum principle. The equation which we have seen in the last discussion. So this equation is nothing but the impulse momentum equation, or we can say impulse momentum principle. So now the statement for this impulse momentum principle is the impulse of force during the time interval is equal to change of momentum of particle, and here also we will get the same equation, that is the impulse is equal to final momentum minus initial momentum. Impulse is nothing but the force into time, so its unit is Newton second. The statement for the Newton second law of motion we have already seen. Final equation is F is equal to ma here. Now the impact object. In the next part of the impact object, we have to discuss some conditions. Here the following cases of impact object, that is force exerted by the jet on the plate, will be considered. Here the plate may be stationary, or plate may be variable, or plate may be moving. So depending upon that both conditions, there are some cases in the impact object. So first one is here, force exerted by the jet on a stationary plate when plate is vertical to jet, plate is inclined to jet, and plate is curved to jet. And second one is when plate is moving. So plate is moving, but plate is vertical to jet, plate is inclined to jet, and plate is curved. I hope you will understand the basic things which are important or which are related to the impact object, and the cases or conditions of the impact object when the plate is stationary or plate is moving we will see in the next video. Thank you.